Welcome, my friends. Today, we are embarking on a deep analytical journey into a topic that affects almost every single one of us, every single day. We are going to deconstruct a massive, widespread illusion about physical effort, exhaustion, and health. We've been raised on the idea that movement is life. But what if science suddenly told us that certain types of movement are actually slowly breaking our bodies down? Close your eyes for a moment and picture two completely different lives. On one side, you have the ultimate symbol of hard work. This is a factory worker, the delivery driver, or the nurse on a busy ward. They are on their feet for 8, 10, or 12 hours a day. They are constantly moving, lifting, walking, and sweating. We naturally look at these people and think, their bodies must be incredibly resilient. They must have hearts of absolute steel. There is no way they suffer from the diseases of the modern world like high blood pressure or clogged arteries. On the exact opposite side, we have the modern office worker. This person sits behind a desk all day long, staring at a screen, perhaps eating a quick sandwich between meetings, living a life of extreme physical inactivity. We look at them and assume their health is deteriorating by the minute, their waistlines expanding and their hearts weakening. This seems like pure, undeniable common sense. But true science does not care about common sense. It cares about data. And the data has just revealed a reality that is completely backwards to everything we thought we knew. Our story begins with one of the most comprehensive, meticulous medical investigations of our modern era. The Copenhagen General Population Study. A brilliant Danish researcher, Professor Andreas Holtermann, and his team decided they were not going to rely on guesswork. They wanted undeniable proof. They gathered an astonishing 104,046 women and men, ranging in age from 20 all the way to 100 years old. This was not a quick experiment. The researchers tracked these individuals for a median follow-up period of 10 years. They asked them detailed questions about how they spent their days, carefully separating their physical activity into two distinct worlds: what they do to earn a living, occupational physical activity, and what they do in their free time, leisure time physical activity. The scientists were incredibly strict. To ensure the results were pure, they adjusted their data for everything you could imagine: age, sex, smoking habits, education, income, diet, and alcohol consumption. They even excluded people who already had major heart problems at the beginning of the study to make sure they weren't just observing people who took easier jobs because they were already sick. After a decade of watching how these 104,046 people lived, worked, and eventually passed away, the researchers documented 7,913 major adverse cardiovascular events, which includes fatal and non-fatal strokes and heart attacks, and 9,846 deaths from all causes. When they analyzed the numbers, what they found was so shocking that the scientific community gave it a dramatic name: the physical activity paradox. Let's look at the green zone first, the leisure time. The results here were beautiful and exactly what we would hope for. The more people engaged in high physical activity during their free time, the more their bodies thrived. They experienced a 15% reduced risk for major cardiovascular events. Even more incredibly, they saw a massive 40% reduced risk of death from all causes. Whether it was cycling, going for a brisk walk, or running, intentional exercise was an absolute lifesaver. But then, the researchers turned their attention to the red zone, occupational physical activity. The heavy, grueling labor, the daily grind. The story took a dark and terrifying turn. As the physical hardship of a job increased, the health of the workers did not improve. It collapsed. Individuals performing high levels of physical activity at work suffered a 35% increased risk of a major adverse cardiovascular event. Worse still, their overall risk of death increased by 27%. Let that sink in. Out of a massive sample of over 100,000 people, the individuals sitting at desks, who we assume are destroying their bodies, actually had the lowest risk of heart disease and early death compared to those doing heavy physical labor. How is this biologically possible? Why does a 45-minute jog strengthen your heart, while an 8-hour shift of manual labor destroys it? The deep analysis reveals that the secret lies in the physiological nature of the effort. When you exercise in your leisure time, you are performing dynamic movements at a conditioning intensity over a short period. You push your heart rate up, you sweat, and then, crucially, you stop. You have sufficient recovery time. This controlled shock trains the heart, opens the arteries, and improves cardiorespiratory fitness. Work is the exact opposite. Heavy occupational labor often involves static loading, monotonous tasks, and awkward working postures. You are not conditioning your heart. You are mechanically straining it for hours upon hours, every single day, without sufficient recovery time. This constant, low-grade stress leads to extreme fatigue, elevates your 24-hour heart rate and blood pressure, and physically wears out the cardiovascular system. Now, you might be thinking, this only applies to men carrying heavy cement bags on construction sites. But the rabbit hole goes much deeper. A fascinating 2023 systematic review by researchers Janssen and Volker looked entirely at the healthcare sector, a field heavily dominated by women, such as nurses, midwives, and caregivers. These professionals aren't necessarily lifting heavy machinery, but they are constantly on their feet, walking wards, and transferring patients. The data showed that healthcare workers spend a very long duration, sometimes up to 3 hours a shift, engaged in light to moderate occupational physical activity. For nurses specifically, their work activity falls primarily in the light intensity range. Yet, the trend of the physical activity paradox remained true. Occupational activity had an unfavorable effect on their cardiovascular health, while leisure time activity was beneficial. This study uncovered a tragic, secondary layer to the paradox, a strong negative relationship between the two domains of movement. Simply put, high occupational physical activity is usually accompanied by very low leisure time physical activity. The nurses and workers are so deeply drained by their light to moderate physical shifts that they simply do not have the energy to engage in specific dynamic, heart-pumping exercise their bodies actually need to survive. Perhaps the most crucial finding from the Copenhagen study is that these two worlds operate independently. There is no statistical interaction between them. This means the damage caused by a grueling job happens regardless of what you do at home. However, it also means the protective power of a 30-minute workout remains true, even if your job is destroying you. Science is not just about discovering problems. It is about engineering solutions. We cannot all quit our demanding jobs, but we can outsmart the paradox. Based on the overarching data from these massive demographic studies, here is a practical protocol to protect your vitality in your daily life. The pattern interrupt strategy. If your job involved prolonged light to moderate strain, like a nurse standing for hours, or static heavy lifting, you must introduce a completely different physical stimulus into your life. Your body does not need more exhaustion. It needs dynamic cardiovascular conditioning. Aim for 20 to 30 minutes of high-intensity, dynamic movement, like brisk walking, cycling, or swimming, on your days off or before a shift. This forces the heart to pump efficiently and recover, counteracting the low-grade static stress of work. Advocate for micro-rotations. The research heavily implies that duration without recovery is the ultimate enemy. If you have any control over your workday, rotate your tasks. Do not perform the same physical action or maintain the same posture for more than 2 hours. Alternate a physical task with an administrative or seated task. You are not being lazy. You are allowing your cardiovascular system to return to a resting baseline. The post-shift decompression. Recognize that the fatigue you feel after a physical 8-hour shift is mechanical fatigue, not cardiovascular fitness. Do not collapse onto the couch immediately. Spend 10 minutes doing dynamic stretching or light yoga to flush the built-up lactic acid from static loading and signal to your nervous system that the strain is over. Prioritize sleep as medicine. Because occupational labor elevates 24-hour blood pressure and creates systemic inflammation, your sleep is no longer just for rest. It is critical biological repair time. Treat your 7 to 8 hours of sleep as the ultimate antidote to the physical activity paradox. When we step back and look at this mountain of evidence, it speaks to a profound truth about the human machine. The relentless grind of survival, the endless toil and static strain of forced labor, wears away at the body. But intentional movement, play, sports, recreation, the physical things we choose to do for the sheer vitality of our own existence, brings life, strength, and longevity. Do not let the exhaustion of your work steal the joy of true movement from your life. Thank you for joining me on this deep dive into the hidden mechanics of our bodies. I wish you all abundant health, vibrant energy, and a life full of true vitality. Until we meet in our next episode, peace and blessings be upon you.